Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship here in Hanover, Germany. I'm sitting with Panky and Quickshot, and this is the League of Legends Analyst Desk, and we are about to watch and analyze Fnatic versus Gambit, the monster of the tournament so far.
A lot on the line right now. I'm taking a look at the table as it stands. Gambit 3-0. CJ Enters did manage to pick up a win against Pain, so they're 3-1 at the moment. And the third team that is currently sitting in that qualified bracket is Incredible Miracle, who are 2-1 at this time being. Fnatic 0-3. They are below Pain, who are 1-3 right now.
And I think that eliminates them. I'll just do a quick minute, just because they lost to IEM, so in their best case scenario, they win their next two matches, they're 2-3, but heads up against IEM and they would be out, right?
Yeah, I think so. Even if they win the next two and they go 2-3, Incredible Miracle would need to lose the next two as well and be 2-3.
And then they would still...
Millennium, I think so as well. So I think there's the possibility for a tie, but maybe for third, fourth.
Very complicated.
But it's very complicated and very small chance, because you're going to have multiple teams that would need to be 2 wins and 3 losses, and it would come down to time. So
I think Fnatic have resigned themselves to... That's it, we're done. We saw a couple of them there in the break, and they were... Oops.
Brandy bot lane. That's what in this situation. Yeah.
They're against Gambit now. They know Gambit. They played Gambit week in, week out now through LCS. They know what kind of streak they're on. They know how strong they are.
Gambit beat them on the weekend.
If you're going to bring out some crazy stuff to try and throw someone off, maybe... No. I can't even convince myself when I'm saying it. Gambit are just too consistent, too solid, too well honed and rounded. I honestly, playing like they have the last 3 games, this is going to be a walkover for Gambit. I hate saying it because I love the Fnatic guys, but I cannot see them putting up a fight.
It's going to be so tough for Fnatic to bounce back from it. They do have the ability to turn some team fights. We've seen it in the previous matchup that they were able to actually put some kills on the board and make some plays stick. But the problem is it was too little and there was too many mistakes interspersed with them. So for every good play they had, there was 2 misplays. And maybe if they can get their heads into the game now against Gambit, they'll stand up a bit of more of a fighting chance. But yeah, like you say, Gambit are just so strong. They took down CJ Enters Blaze without really even batting an eyelid.
The quickest game so far. We thought it would be tightest, we thought it would go on for the longest, and they turned around, well, we'll do it in 22 minutes. No sweat. Take an 18-minute Baron. Why not?
What does Fnatic have to do to pull this back, Sharad?
Double Bruiser bot lane?
Pantheon Jarvan?
I'm not sure.
Jarvan's a big pop.
I think even psychologically at this point in sports, you're in a really dark place. And especially if they think that they're out or know that they're out, it might work in their favor only that they do something crazy. Maybe, but Gambit's just so strong, and they're so strong today. They're well rested. They're on the ball. A miracle?
Pringles.
An incredible miracle, if I do say so myself.
What is going to
So Fnatic Gambit, the players are joining into the lobby. We'll get into picks and bans soon. Fnatic appear to have blue side from what the lobby is shaping up to be. It didn't work out for them very well the previous time. They lost, so we'll see if their blue side is going to make any difference for them in this particular matchup. Panky, what do you think about picks and bans? The usual?
I don't think we're going to see too crazy things from Gambit. I mean, Alex said before, you can't ban them out. They have too much. We're going to see the likes of his Kha'Zix or maybe a Zedda in there. We're going to get Jungle Nasus quite likely again from Diamond. Maybe he'll get the Volibear this time, depending on the way the pick ban go. Genji could play anything. He's got way too many champions in there. Thresh.
First ban.
I don't want to say it will be banned, because, as you mentioned, Fnatic have resigned themselves to being out. They're just enjoying themselves. They could leave it open just so it'll be a good show, just so they could try and take it. And as their first pick, so they could be the ones that leave it open in the hope to get it. So
I haven't seen him rated playing Thresh, though, if I'm honest. I'm trying to think back in terms of the matches and some of the things we've been talking about. It hasn't really sounded like his cup of tea.
It certainly fits his playstyle. I mean, you look at Leona. It does very similar stuff to the Leona. But yes, I haven't seen him play it.
It's in a different flavour.
He might have been practicing in scrims, keeping them secret, but definitely haven't seen it in the LCS. So we'll see what his option is, what he goes with. It does work very well with Misfortune if Yellowstar gets that, so it would be a strong bottom lane if they can pick that up. But we'll see. There's those options, and of course Edward can still play Lulu or Sona or whatever. And Rated, we've seen him do a couple of Sonas in this tournament. We've seen him do a couple of Sonas in LCS. So there's all those options for the bottom lane. We're going to see lane switch. That's the way it goes. We're going to see Shen. He's going to be picked or he's going to be banned. Those things you can kind of just count off as definitely
they're going to happen in one way or the other.
So this is our first match of the day between 2 LCS teams. They know each other really well, probably better than any of the matches that we've seen today. So maybe, maybe
Well, it's one of
Fnatic
these
knows
things.
something.
Even though it is the first match for the two LCS teams, it is Gambit who are on a hot streak over the weekend. I don't think they've dropped a game in probably 8, and they actually beat Fnatic as well. So it's one of these situations where they're looking up to Gambit from behind, because Fnatic are the ones that have the distance to cover. They're the ones that need to make up the ground, make the plays. They have to force Gambit out of their comfort zone. And while the previous games were going on, D-Man was standing here chatting to us, and we were saying, well, Gambit Gaming have an infinite comfort zone because they have so many different champions in their pool in every single position. They have so many different play styles. They can play passive and farm. They can play aggressive in early level. They can invade. They can do every trick that you need to have if you're a League of Legends team. And the question is, how do you interrupt it? How do you find which trick they're using now and, try to turn it to your advantage? If you know they're going to be aggressive, you need to ward defensively and, counter play. But if you're not making your plays correctly, you're being caught out, you can't really do that, can you?
I mean, Gambit get a look at this. They're at the top of the table. They're 3-0. They're in more or less free ride through to tomorrow, to Thursday and Friday. Sorry.
Well, if they lose the next 2 and they go 3-2, there's the possibility of ties that way. But I'm being super
still
pedantic
tied,
now.
It'll be tied. Yeah, it'll still be tied for top 3. So I think they're still as good as in the playoffs. Where in the playoffs they are, we don't know, but they're in there. So they're going to come into that. Fnatic last. They're going to come into it knowing they're more or less out. Both teams know each other. They're all friends. They see each other every weekend now. They're going to be enjoying themselves. Fnatic, yeah, they're bummed they're out. But as I said, we bumped into them in the break. They're not overly depressed. They're not rage quitting out, leaving, going home today. They're still going to have some fun. So I think this game's going to be interesting, whether it's on the fact that they pick crazy picks, whether they do something silly, or they go with sensible picks, but when they're in the game, maybe a little bit more aggressive than normal, just trying to get that one extra kill, that one extra hit off, rather than playing super safe, super defensive. Going to enjoy themselves. Sign see some form of
Even
smile.
a grin, which is nice. I mean, it's a difficult place to be in, but you know what? These guys are professional players. They've been to so many tournaments. I mean, these two teams alone have probably attended, 70, 80% of all of the Intel Extreme Masters hosted throughout the world, and all the different events. They've lost tournaments before, and if you do
I don't
lose,
think Gambit have.
Okay, touche. No, Gambit haven't lost in Intel Extreme Masters. They've lost elsewhere. But, the Intel Extreme defending world champs, they know how to play. And for Fnatic particularly, you have to learn from the losses. You have to step back and say, what went wrong? What mistakes happened? And what do we need to do to fix it?
As I said, Fnatic, one of the teams that boots camps better than anyone else. They will go back from this. They will look at the games. They might already know what they've done wrong. It's just they're not in a shape to deal with it, whatever it may be, tired, hungry, whatever. They just couldn't turn it around. We saw during those games, they tried a couple of things. They were clawing it back slowly but surely, but couldn't hold on to it. So they will learn from it. They will come out the other side stronger, but unfortunately for them, it's looking like they might just be over in this run.
Well, this will be a great test of character. We'll see how they respond to their 3 losses. They're probably imminent exit. Because if you're going to go out, at least, maybe crushing Gambit in your 4th game, taking your 5th game and going out 2-3 doesn't hurt nearly as bad. It builds their confidence. They go home, have a boot camp, come back stronger than ever.
Yeah, and as a lot of people predicting, Gambit could be the one to go on to win this if Fnatic say, all right, we crashed out, but we beat the winners in the group stage. That's a minor win.
That's what they're going to do first. They're going to get there first.
Basically second, because we beat the guys that won.
I'm wondering if there's somebody out there that can do some math calculations and work out all the different possibilities. I'm sure there's some mathematicians watching right now.
Alex
and
Pev.
figuring out, there you go, because I'm sure there's a possibility for a 2-3 turnaround to work out in their favor, but it's a very big ask right now. In order to get that 2-3 tie and then go through on time aggregate, it's scary. It's a scary place to be.
If you're a math genius, tweet at us, twitter.com/IEM.
Oh, hashtag IEM.
Show us your math.
Yeah, hashtag IEM would be awesome. We do have all 10 players in the game, so we should be getting this away.
Just waiting for Gambit to
soon.
put their headsets back on.
Yeah,
Make sure they can't hear us coming through the big speakers.
And we hear it all the time, why the headsets, etc. They've got soundproof, that's a better way of saying it.
Noise cancelling.
Yes, noise cancelling or soundproof, whatever your preference, headphones on top of their in-ears. So they'll have small in-ear buds. They'll have the sponsors' headsets around their neck and use that for microphones.
Yeah.
And it's so that they don't hear our beautiful voices in the build-up or during the cast.
That's how I play at home, just for the feel of it.
The amount of times I've just put speakers on, headset around my neck.
Throw my Krakens here.
Surprisingly comfortable. Just having the microphone sit in there, headsets here.
It keeps your neck warm too when it's cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially in Canada, it's like a little scarf, man, while you're playing.
An electronic scarf. I like that. I like that.
A little bit expensive scarf, that's for sure.
That's for sure. So yeah, we're going to be jumping into this one. Clear favorites are probably, Gambit Gaming. They've been looking so strong throughout the day, and the pressure's going to be on Fnatic to turn this one around.
Yeah, and we do get are we ready calls coming from both of the teams in chat, just making sure the casters and the cameramen are all there. So I do believe we are, and we'll be in Champions League any second. I'm going to go with first ban. Shed.
Thresh by Fnatic.
Fnatic.
Well, the money's out there on the table. I'm going to say Kale. I don't think that. We'll see. We'll see.
We're all wrong.
We're all wrong. It's Jin Zhao instead. So we'll jump into this. It is, of course, targeting Diamond Procs. His Jin Zhao is just insanely strong. He was actually using Zen in Season 2. I still remember casting a number of other cups where it was actually banned out against him and all the time back then.
So, Diamond Procs not getting his Nasus. That's the second ban then from Fnatic. And a little bit of a respect ban coming from Gambit, taking away Enrated's Leona. I mean, yes, they lost that last game, but he landed some great ultimates, some good initiates. They did very well in the bottom lane when he was running her. And as we said before, he's run it time and time again through multiple IEMs for a long while now.
I also think that's to do with taking Enrated out of his comfort zone. We've seen how when he's not playing Leona, he's not as game-changing or doesn't have the same sort of effect on the matchup. So by forcing him off that particular champion, it's going to play into their favor. We do see the Thresh ban coming in, so 1 million internet points for Jarrett Kale because it was predicted. And Kale is the last ban, so it wasn't the first, it was the last, but I'm going to claim my internet points for that one.
Yep, left via open. We're going to see that very quick pick from Soaz. Suspected we're given down to Cyanide, put into the into that jungle role, which we saw him try earlier on. Two not quite as great of an effect against C. James's Blaze, but this is Gambit. It's a different team, different comp. We'll see.
And of course, Darren's got his Shen. I mean, there are very few Shen players in EU that you could say are stronger. Maybe Wicked being one of the few that you could claim is top Shen players in EU right now, and time again, Darren is showing just how effectively he can use that champion. Misfortune for Genja. We'll see who they're going to combo it with. Some form of CC would be quite nice just to help get that bullet time combo. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Sona play coming out of Edward, actually.
No, I wouldn't either. It's a very good combo in that bottom lane. The early aggression coming out of Sona, the early aggression coming out of Genja can really take control of a lane, whether a 2v1 or 2v2.
And also the poke, the amount of damage that comes down from the power core, Tim and Valor, the Qs, it's just...
That's how they take control of that lane. They
early lane pressure.
Early aggression, take them down, burn them through their health potions so they haven't got that sustain. And then once they've gone through all those health potions, keep poking them. So then they're, say, 2/3 health as opposed to full health, and they would always lose the next engage, and they just cannot trade with it.
Yeah, that's the way it looks like at the moment. But as I was going to say, there's a possibility of being stolen away. I think Fnatic thinking along similar lines to us, saying, well, do we want to deal with Sona or do we want to take Sona? And they took a long time. They used the entire minute there to decide who they were going to take. And I think D-Man's going to be very excited to see Kha'Zix, because I'm sure we'll get some wolves out of him later.
Excited, but not surprised. It's Alex Ich. He got his first pick, and as soon as it came to him, he's like, Kha'Zix, having it. This is our first Elise of the tournament, though. We saw her banned previously, but yet to see her played. So we'll see where that ends up. We could see her in the jungle. We saw Dragonborns try that LCS this weekend. Soaz, on the other hand, more likely to take in the top lane, switching with Soaz there, as she is a very good laner against Shed.
What do you think of Corki, Jared?
2v1 it.
Personally, not a big fan. Not this season anyway. Last season I played him a little bit, but
yeah, it worked in Season 2, but he doesn't quite have the same oomph in Season 3.
Yeah.
Muro Mana, it can work, but he's got so much splash damage, it doesn't synergize with his abilities. Yeah, he needs it, and it doesn't synergize because it's splash, that on-hit damage. So we'll see if they decide to stick with Corki. If they do, I feel like this is going to be Fnatic maybe, like you said, having some fun with the potentially second to last game of the tournament. What it does mean, though, is Gambit need to be quite on the ball, because if Fnatic are a bit more laid back, a bit more relaxed, they may not make as many mistakes. It's going to sound really strange, but if you're not trying so hard, it has been locked in, and it looks like Peck is going to take Needly. Bananas. It is Edward, though, so let's not get excited. Let's not get excited, because we'll see if that is locked in. Edward, the ultimate troll, has even got Joe Miller on camera with his trusty banana.
Yeah, I don't want to take too much away here from Yellowstone, by the way. Corki, while he fell out of play a little bit, his mana cost went up. He got very, very mana inefficient. They've been nerfed down again. He's not quite as bad as he was. We saw him try it at the weekend. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in that game again there, but it was more the fact that Gambit got so big that you just couldn't get through them. They were so big and tanky. It wasn't a problem with Corki. So Yellowstar's still sticking by the fact that he is a viable, strong AD carrier right now. So we'll wait and see exactly where that goes, but it has also given Peke his niddly. We were talking in the Cabsy ride here to the venue how amazing Niddly is, how much fun she is, and the kind of crazy things we've seen Peke pull off with those spears in previous tournaments.
Yeah, and of course Lulu being played by Edward, he went 5-0-2 over the weekend. Scary, scary play. Needly, game changer. Jared, as we're going into this last game, where do you put your money in compositions? Let's ignore previous games and plays. Whose composition do you prefer?
I prefer red. I do. I'm scared about bottom lane. I'm not sure how Corki Center really matches up against, you know,
it's going to take
hopefully
a lot
Mafia
of damage early.
And Lulu.
And we mentioned there was a lot of poke coming out of Sona Misfortune. There's still a lot of poke coming out of Lulu Misfortune. And if Corki takes too much damage in the first 2-3 levels, he's going to have a hard time.
I may be biased. I thought this was a great opportunity for Tristana. But hey, I mean, I am biased. But I still think it was a great opportunity. Level 2, you're already outranging her. It's not such a bad laning matchup.
Not so much. We've got Candy Panda with SK tomorrow, one of his old favorite champions. You've got another chance here.
Perfect. Well, the game's loading. The players are ready. We're ready. We're going to hand it over to the casters and watch what's probably going to be a pretty damn good game.
Yes, welcome ladies and gentlemen, and we're about to get underway. It's going to be Gambit with, honestly, a very strong set of picks for them. This is like Gambit's dream team selected out here. I don't know really what Fnatic were doing giving them that. Honestly, I am not convinced by any team so far using Vi as a first pick.
See, I think Gambit's roster could have been a little stronger if they actually locked in the Soraka. We had a couple of bananas going in here. It might be a little more fun. But yeah, you gave him Shen, you gave him Volibear, you gave him Kha'Zix, Misfortune. Lulu is the only one that's not necessarily his favorite pick. It's like, hey, have your favorite champions, have fun stomping this kind of thing. But you know what, Fnatic, if they can pull out an upset, they're definitely one of the teams that can do it.
Well, we are about to get underway. If you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Fnatic 0-3 currently in the groups, and N-rated. Got to be careful if he doesn't walk straight up and face check this bush. Alex Titch was ready and waiting, walked straight up, put the ward down. They knew exactly where he was going. So Fnatic playing it as the blue team from bottom to top, and Gambit on your screens are going to be going red and top to bottom. So seeing a couple of fortitude potions bought by the two top laners. Will we see the top laners against each other? Looking like we may well do, actually, because Darian's shown himself down that bottom lane, and we immediately see, looking like Yellowstar are going to back off. So they want to keep the two solo laners against one another. How do you work that one out? Okay, Elise versus Shen.
Well, it's Soaz on Elise, so you know he's going to play a damn good Elise. And
You
Shen,
say that, but he got caught so many times last game.
I honestly don't know what was up with that. But I mean, just as a player in general, minus I guess today, he's a damn good player. And on Elise, so good at harassing the Shen from long range. It's gonna be quite interesting. I think Soaz should be able to beat him early on, but once Darian starts building that natural tank that Shen does, it's really hard to take him down.
And we see obviously Fnatic going to go take a lot of the Wolves, try and give the advantage to their AD carry, but the Golms are being picked up by Genja in the top lane, which means the Wolves and Cyanide on the Wraiths. It's going to be starting out, I'm guessing, is he going to be starting red, or is he going to run over to the blue? Let's have a
I think he's starting red.
And see. Looks like it's going to be red. Yeah, you can see Peke leashing it out for him there. And that's going to be Cyanide switching over with Soaz's help. So a lot of damage going between them. Diamond, of course, starting on the blue. Looks like it's going to be a possible smiteless blue as well, and a smiteless red.
I want to ask you something, Demon, because Genja, we've seen him as being one of those AD carries that kind of invents new things and whatnot. I mean, he was one of the first to do Ninja Tabbies. He's been running Ghost Cleanse, as you see here. He's also running 17 flat armor pen. Has he done anything else besides that? Like, is one of those innovators as an AD carry?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was the original AD cannon. He was the original, I guess.
That's true.
I mean, I can't really say the original Ashe, because I guess you'd have to give that to probably Big Fat LP or maybe even Chowster, because they were probably around before Gambit even joined the game. But he was definitely one of the first AD cannons that was successful in tournament play. We do see Genja taking a lot of damage, actually laying it back on towards Yellowstar. Had to force to use barrier already, and that is a summoner spell forced out. Nice play.
Yeah, I mean, Corki, he's pretty much 1v2 at this point, and overextending just a little bit too far. You can't really afford to do that when Sona's not there to help you out. But now that he's there, I mean, you do have that lane stain. Oh, you do have a flash in from
Another
Edward.
Ignite went down as well. Gosu Pepper not hanging around there, or should say Edward. Gotta get his correct name on there. He won't be happy for me using that one, but I'm sure he'll survive. But that does force him out of lane, and that's going to drop his experience. His CS is not going to be up there. You can see N-Rated trying to pick up as much CS as he can while he's gone, and Cyanide also coming up to try and clear that wave.
You know, Demon, there's something we should mention as well. These two teams have played in LCS twice so far, and Fnatic lost both times, so it's a big grudge match here. I don't really think Fnatic should take this game so lightly, because they want to, you know, finally get some sort of edge back into Gambit.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be taking it lightly, that's for sure. They're 0-3 in a tournament, but yeah, honestly, they weren't close games either. They were very much one-sided Gambit wins. The question is, can they try and drive something? Maybe this switch and trying to force the 2v1, 2v2 and the straight-up 1v1 play, maybe something that they're thinking, trying to work it out, but I'm never convinced. Peke switching across to Nidalee, I don't think this is the sort of comp team they can poke at, because Kha'Zix is going to jump at you. He's going to have Shen coming stand united, Diamond's going to be charging straight down, and then Genja can quite happily shoot from range, so it's not really a team I feel they can poke at.
We've seen something like this, something similar with the Elise Nidalee combo out of Dragonborns, where you lock them down with like a Cocoon, then you pretty much have a guaranteed spear, but that was mixed in with a Jarvan, so you can knock them all right back up, but then again, you have Vi, the ultimate into the back line, you can knock them aside as a top lane. Gonna see some action going down there.
Let's go in both lanes. In fact, Genja's trying to put the pressure on towards N-Rated. Meanwhile, we also see Alex Ich being pressured, but it's Genja that's taken low. Alex Ich avoids the damage in the middle, and Genja just pops a heal potion, doesn't burn. And yes, he did actually burn Cleanse there, so he did have to burn a Summoner's Spell out. So back and forward, we see Diamond Procs now coming in the top there, and well, we can see Yellowstar, he's going to have Valkyrie available, he's going to get flipped back in there. Is it going to be enough? Glitterlance does land, Doubler comes out, there's first blood. It's Diamond Procs once again.
And Diamond showing why that bear is very scary, one of the first actual junglers to play him, at least in competitive play. That speed increase you get charging at someone, not to mention the flip and the slow and the nom, that really goes underrated at how much damage you can really do with it. Caught Yellowstar off guard, and you know, it wasn't already enough behind, getting pushed out of the lane right off the bat. He's now down 1 death.
Well, the bottom lane are having a little poke as well. Darian being forced out a little bit here by Soaz. The poison Q's continuing to go down, but he's just having to chug through those potions. Has got the Fortitude pot, of course, but you can see the Q harass from Soaz, trying to keep him busy. As it is, though, Yellowstar is having problems. He's 1 kill down. He's only got 17 CS compared to 29. It's a difficult lane for them here, and Gambit winning out.
And he's also being forced into a build I don't think he necessarily wants to go for. He has to build a little bit of extra health with those double Doran's blades just to survive this damage that Gambit can put out against them. They do have a sustain, but it doesn't matter if you can't survive a full-on attack from Misfortune and a Lulu.
Well, I mean, who can defend a full-on attack from a polar bear? I mean, it's just not possible.
Not even seals.
That was quite a good one. I'll give you that one for once.
I got one.
He got one in there. It is a gold advantage, of course, to Gambit. They did have that first kill. We see Alex Ich holding out the lane there and picking up the siege minions, and that gold bonus coming through. Is he going to try and push some damage on towards Peke? Has hit 6, probably going to evolve his Void Spikes. Yes, he has. I can just have a glimpse down. And we see Cyanide backing off with the boots of mobility now. Let's see if he manages to get involved in there. Yellowstar's got a huge creep wave coming towards him. He's going to have to work this one down quickly. He has got a lot of CS to gain ground, and you can see double the CS advantage currently for Genja. Keeping the pressure down in towards Yellowstar. Going to go back and buy. Let's see what he buys. It's going to be some sort of investment in a BF sword, I suspect.
This is really unfortunate, actually, for Cyanide. I mean, typically around this point, we've always seen him having that Spirit Stone done and the Boots Mobility. He was able to get around the map. He usually picked up that first blood.
Of course he does.
Yeah, that's another thing that he started doing. But Cyanide usually has that Boots Mobility and the Spirit Stone done, and he's had the first blood given to him, pretty much, or at least has taken it, but he's been shut down this entire time so far, not really able to create any plays whatsoever. And Genja, I mean, he was already ahead in CS, already had the assist, and with the Alvarez play, the extra money he's going to get per minion kill is really going to set him far ahead. But you do have expecting on Nidalee, and I do agree that the comp isn't necessarily perfect for him, but we've seen him land some amazing spears. Like what comes to me is Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, where he hit Helios like 3 or 4 times in a row, and then ended up picking the kill up on him and helped him win the game.
Well, I wonder if he's just falling back on champions that he feels comfortable on, because he tried Cassidy, that didn't work out too well.
Katarina.
He tried Katarina, that really didn't work out too well. And maybe he's just thought, okay, I'm going to have to switch it around and fall back on Nidalee and see what really works. It's just maybe not feeling comfortable, and I jokingly did put on Twitter that they maybe didn't travel well. It's not exactly a long journey for them from Cologne.
Well, we didn't travel well in 4 hours of traffic.
It was 4 hours of traffic, and we see Alex is going aggressive on towards Peke. Manages to put the rockets, the ignite goes down, barrier burn. He's going to get another Q, uses his ultimate. He has going to have one more burst. He's going to go into towards the turret, may turn the damage. The turret comes out, and Peke picks up the kill on Alex Ich.
He came in just to land that last void spike onto him, but unfortunately the creeps blocked it. Peke survived it, picking up a kill for himself, and that has to give Fnatic some sort of energy boost for them picking up that nice kill where it almost looked like certain death for him.
Wow, good turnaround, and maybe that's the look that Fnatic are going to require. A mistake in the play from Alex, it's something you don't often see. Meanwhile, Genja in this bottom lane, you can see the CS has pulled back. Obviously, that's simply a case of Yellowstar clearing out that gigantic wave that was pushed towards him. So the seesaw back and forward. We do see some poke from Genja. Yellowstar actually keeping them bound, and then the bear coming poking in there, really wearing. There is a ward there, but we do see Cyanide creeping in there. So
he was not spotted.
He
ball broke it over that wall. And we did also see in that kill, that trade we saw in middle, Nidalee picked up blue buff. So didn't need to get his own blue, gave it over to Cyanide. So he wants to gank right now. He wants to use that ultimate as quick as possible because then he'll have that really low cooldown on it, and it will be able to gank obviously another lane. And mid actually wouldn't be a bad choice since there is no flash currently up for Kha'Zix, doesn't have that extended leap range.
He would pass a ward though, either way, if he goes towards the tri-bush. I think he's trying to say, hey guys, you're going to maybe let the lane push here, or am I just going to just stand around waiting all night? Yeah, and he's still kind of, he's like decided, torn. Now he's passing a ward and immediately ping. And it looks like Alex Ich is actually going to maybe try and cut him off here. No, just wards out. Realizes he's probably going to come in towards the mid lane, make sure he doesn't get caught by that spear.
And the spot lane, not surprisingly, much action's been happening. I thought Soaz would have much more of a control of this lane, but he wasn't able to get that early haunting, guys. Darren was able to pretty much push him out of the lane quite early on, as we do see Unrated being actually pressured. Volibear coming in.
Here comes the flip. Oh, Crescendo caught him perfectly, but he will get him rated. No, he manages to pull the wild growth down, tries to keep him at bay, but he still hasn't flipped him. Couldn't get close enough. Brilliant control from Fnatic there, and Rated really did a good job.
Yeah, he did a very good job, and Diamond was a giant barrier signed, waiting on that side, trying to come in. Darren and Soaz going head-to-head on this bottom lane.
Soaz going aggressive on Darien, forcing him to repels in. He's going to go aggressive. Can he finish him off? The shield's going to come out. The ignite goes down. And there's the cocoon. Not quite enough. The ignite's not going to be enough either. The health bot will just save his life.
Very close. Very good job by Soaz there, realizing he had that advantage at that point. He was able to push this lane up very quickly, and he's going to be able to back and deny a lot of CS, a lot of experience and gold over to Darren, which he really needs at this point. He's 1,000 gold on him, so he can pick up that haunting guys very shortly, which is going to help so much against Darren. However, look at his build so far, almost has that Warmox completed, and that's never a good sign when Shen has that, pre-12 minutes.
Peke going very aggressive on Alex Ich after like picking up that one kill. You can see the traps all over the place. He has that blue buff and he's really keeping the pressure down, managing to gain that CS lead, throw them spears out, didn't quite land it on towards Alex though. And we see Fnatic starting to gain some ground here on Gambit, but they are still down on gold. It's 1,000 gold difference.
The thing is, they have to. If they don't gain that ground at this point, with the sort of poke comp that they're kind of running at this, with Corki and with Nidalee, they're going to fall even that far, much farther behind. They have to somewhat keep up with Gambit, or if they, get a really strong head-on engage.
They've lane switched. They've forced it. Actually, Yellowstar getting Shadow Dash and taunted on the turret, but that's actually Gambit being forced into the lane switch by Fnatic there. They've chosen to do this.
I don't know if that was forced, actually, because Genja was ahead, and so was Darien. Maybe it was just like maybe it was like Darien just going to the top and hey guys, I want this lane now, because look at him, he's already very low from the poke that we see. He was doing, pretty good against Soaz. I mean, then again, Soaz did picked up an item or two, and Genja was no way losing to Yellowstar.
Having had some fairly private conversations with Gambit in the past, I'm never sure really on some of the decisions. I always try to make out that they're really tactical. Sometimes when I hear the actual real decisions, I question it. But they have fun, let's put it that way, when they play these games. And as it is, maybe they're having a little toying session. We will find out soon enough.
That's scary though.
I know it is.
If they have that much, if they have fun and playing like that, like mess around, and they still play this well.
It's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I would never play this well, even if I train for like a year straight.
If they can play that good and just toy with their prey sometimes, I think it's safe to call them that. But Fnatic, maybe sometimes it just backfires on them, of course. We do see Diamond was there. He was trying to get a poke around, but there was also Cyanide in the bush ready and waiting. As it stands, You see us in that mid lane, of course, Peke with that blue buff that he got off Alexic, having to gain that lead. Cyanide has managed to move his way around. Diamond goes aggressive, tries to fear away the minions, trying to keep Yellow Star and everyone else away from this turret, but honestly, he needs Darian back here because he is losing out. This turret's going to go down.
And Cyanide hasn't had one successful gank. He's actually stuck around this top lane for, I think, about 2 minutes over this entire game so far. Oh, we do see the bot lane. So catches Genja.
You see Genja taken down very low there, but he does use Make It Rain, and Wild Growth was used by Edward to force Soaz away. So that little ping coming out, warning us that the danger was there. As it stands, Genja still a long way off an item. There's the top turret going down. First turret of the game, Fnatic picking that one up. No surprise there. We already saw the bear had to back away.
You know, even though Genja only has that 1 assist and is actually only ahead by like 15 CS, he's up by 500 gold at this point because of that average split, how much gold it really helps you get. And Xpeke, we're talking about that CS difference in the mid lane. That was all due to denying that blue buff away from Alex, taken away from with that kill. Because, you know, a Kha'Zix without blue trying to spam the void spikes, trying to clear waves really quickly, it isn't as efficient, obviously, without that extra regen coming in. But he does pick up that brutalizer, so Xpeke not going to have too much armor against him. And that could be a sign that we could see a gank coming down. Obviously, Nidalee is very slippery, but having a bear that can slow you and flip you can make it pretty easy.
Yeah, Peke actually kind of dominating this mid lane now. CS is still very close, but you can tell that Alex is just having to stay at distance right now. He's keeping away, but as you can see, he can just wipe out those waves, no problem at all. And he has evolved his wings as well, so he's going to be leaping into battle and looking for those resets next time they fight. And it's looking like it may well be towards the Dragon. Cyanide sat ready and waiting to use our Vault Brigade to come across and maybe try and steal it if it required.
Yeah, I mean, pointing out that Kha'Zix level 11 is really key because Gambit can go for a hard engage if they want to right now. And with those lane switches, having, you know, Corky Stone at the bot lane, they could potentially go for this Dragon.
That ward.
That ward is amazing.
Well, I'm interested to see exactly what he can see with that one. Snuck it right in the corner there, Edward.
Yeah, Pink Ward unfortunately cannot see it.
Clever. Thought it might be a spot, a sneaky spot. You've always got to watch them because there is quite a few spots on the map that the players slowly find and we have to chase and fix again. They do keep finding these sneaky spots.
You mean balance it?
Well, balance is one word you could use. I think you all know what we mean, though, as it is. Just coming up to the 16-minute mark, we are still only at 1-1. The gold between the teams, only 1,000 gold difference, still no dragons gone down, only the one turret, a very slow-paced game for Fnatic versus Gambit. And honestly, Jason, other than this gank we're seeing in the mid lane, you can see Alex is just going to jump out of that one, caught a spear as well. If that cocoon had landed, he would have been dead. The bear's going to come in once again on all fours, but immediately eats the spear. How is he going to work out? We're going to start moving into the later game shortly, although it's looking like Fnatic are going to try and force a dragon here.
Well, they have to be very careful. They had Alexic. Obviously, they did make him back, but he has home guard boots, so he's going to be back there very quickly. They should be able to lock down this dragon
quick enough, though. You can see Volibear trying to get in. Diamond had to back off there. So, dragon picked up. That makes the goal just 300 between them, Jason. What are we talking? We're going to start moving into the mid-game. They're going to start roaming. What do the teams look like?
Well, the mid game is going to be, well, actually very good for Gambit, as we do see actual Gage in the mid lane. Xpeke Alex is going head-to-head, but looks like Xpeke will be able to escape, but, you know, having a Shem, that just kind of tells you how the game's going to develop, and they do actually catch him.
He goes and flips in there, but Alex is not really on the same wavelength, honestly, and you can see he gets Assault Battery. That's going to be standing united. Now they're going to try and turn it, but they're going to have to go deep on the turret. Oh, Darian tries to get the Shadow Dash. They are also deep. He's going to get leap. He gets the reset. Alex goes in, leaps back out again. Can he get the second? Yes, they can, but that was a very sloppy fight from Gambit game, and a lot of miscommunication seems to be going out there. Now they're on towards N-rated. N-rated, Crescendo goes down. Genja in all sorts of trouble. Wild Growth does go down, survives it. That's going to be the Ignite, surely finishing off N-rated. They're going to try and get on towards Yellowstar. Yellowstar flashes through. Now he's on towards Edward, but here comes Alex H, leaps in and gets the kill.
Very sloppy kill for Gambit Gaming in that mid lane, but in the end, it didn't even matter. Picking up 4 kills in total right there. And we were talking about how slow that game was going so far. It completely just changed right there. And that's the thing, you have a Shen, you expect a slow kind of, you know, drawn out game with him just split pushing the entire time, but with Alex on Kha'Zix, it's so beautiful to watch because it's just every move he makes is so perfect. As Darian does get caught in the mid lane, ends up going down to Soaz. He stepped one step too far out of that turret.
One step closer to the edge there, and he is about to break.
I think I said the edge of glory.
Here comes Alex. He's going to peek towards Cyanide. Thought he was going to go for it, didn't instead. just backs away and leaps back off there. As it is, SOAS is becoming a persistent pest. A rather large spider lady that's worrisome, I think it's safe to say. Spear, once again, finding its home. And Diamond Proc's not quite tanky enough. You can see he's already building up that runic bulwark. He's got the Aegis of the Legion on him already, so not going to be long before he picks that up as his first major item.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned SOAS being more a really, annoying bug at this point, because he's building AP. Usually you see, well, not lately too much, but you see like a Warmogs, a Hunting guys, and they just go pretty much straight tank at that point. But he's going for that Riley's. He needs that damage because they know if they land that spear, and if he were to land like 1 Q on him, he could repel in and land that 1 Q. He's gonna kill him, and they have that burst potential to kill anyone on Gambit minus Shen and Volibear. But if you can take Kha'Zix out, he's gonna pretty much screw over Gambit.
Well, Alex is going to jump in towards Yellowstar, catches him with the Void Spikes. I think he now realizes he just caught him. Didn't jump towards it, but you can see Diamond is coming round and he's going to get charging in there. Valkyrie already used, he flips him in, and Alex jumps straight in for his prey, and Diamond Prox picks up a kill.
Great job by them. I mean, there was actually a ward at the bottom side of the river. They knew Diamond was coming, and I guess Fnatic got a little bit too careless there and just overextended. And Gambit, it was 1-1, now 6-3. The goalie's starting to get in their favor. And Fnatic, they have to be very careful here because this game's starting to slip out of their hands. They have that kind of poke composition. If they can't draw it out, if they can't just keep up with Gambit, they're going to just fall that much further behind, and they can't really defend that well against a siege from Gambit.
Can tilt very quickly, and again, those spears, every time they go out, you hear that ping. The red buff going across to Alex Sitch this time. No, Diamond Prox says, I think I'll have that one if you don't mind. And now immediately Peke realizing he's going to have to back away here. Darian's going to come around the side. Alex Sitch goes leaping across. They're getting straight on towards the turret. Went a little bit early there. Had to tank out the turret. Doesn't matter. Minions come around, and that's another turret gone. So 2-1 in turrets. Gambit take the lead once again. And they are up in kills and up in gold.
I love that transition that Gambit just pulled off. I mean, you see this happen so many times where they get a kill on bot lane, push out a little bit, and then they all just collapse on that mid lane.
They're going for blue, but they're leaving the middle exposed here. Fnatic might try and take advantage of it, and Peke is going to walk straight into them, and immediately Shadow Dash will come out. Darian thought about it, couldn't go for it instead. It looks like Alex Sitch is going to go deep. That's going to be the bullet time going across. Hasn't finished him off, but Void Spikes instead. You know what? I'll take Cyanide instead. Oh, Enerated's in trouble. He gets flipped down. Genja picks up the kill on that one. And you can see Yellowstar trying to get away, but the wild growth on towards Darian means he can tank out the turret. It's a double kill. Alex Sitch goes very, very deep there, maybe a little too deep, and SOAS will take him down. But the spear from Peke picks it off. That means he can't repel. In fact, he repelled to his minions and took down Genja as well. Another spear on towards Darian. Shadow dashes away from the cocoon. Peke trying to chase this one out, but I think Gambit have managed to escape. It's a close fight. It was a 3-for-2.
And Demon does
Damon's going to get caught out here. Peke's going to catch him. Is the blue buff going to be enough, though? He's going to try and catch him down. You can see, oh, misses the spear. Edward just steps to the side. Dauntily misses it out. Tries to juke it around. Hasn't got anything available. Looks like Edward's going to go down. Can he get torn out? Yes, he will. A claw in the backside from the Cougar of Peke.
And Demon, does Darien ever miss a taunt? As you saw right there, Corki tried balking away in that team fight previously, and he landed the taunt right as he was doing that, so it locked him down and kept him targeted here. But Xpeke picking up 2 kills right there, SOAS picking up 1. A great turnaround is in the mid lane. They're trying to dive Diamond.
Oh, the spear going out straight away as well. They're diving on towards Diamond. The repel comes through, but here comes Alex Sitch leaping back to glory. Can he get on towards Cyanide? He's going to use his ultimate, and a great crescendo stops him in his tracks. Peke keeping the bottom lane busy. Genja's going to close in on towards him. Puts the slow down. Can he catch him out? No, catches a spear instead, straight in the teeth.
That's never really a good sign, though, when you have to see your support use crescendo defensively like that. You want to see that aggressive crescendo, that flash ultimate, but he tried to use it to keep Alex away since he's so strong at this point. That Bloodthirster, 200 CS, 2-2 and 4, and the Brutalizer in the tier, I think it is actually almost fully stacked up right now. And Fnatic, they need to make sure to lock down these blue buffs. They need to secure one for Xpeke, which he currently does have. And at this point, they have the ability to siege. They're able to get back in the game. Edward might get caught, might go down.
Very much caught. Assault and battery comes out. Just dropped where he stood. No chance. Alex Sitch going straight in on towards Yellowstar. Has to back out. Flip goes on towards N-Rated. Has you just crescendo a moment ago. Won't be available. Puts the exhaust down on towards Alex Sitch. That's going to run down. Now they're coming in. Genja comes around. He goes on towards Peke. Alex Sitch goes leaping towards Cyanide. Genja completely left on his own. And shredded down. Now the repel. Soaz goes deep, gets flipped out. Can he get the cocoon on towards Alexic and lay down the damage? You can see the Q's coming down. Can he finish him off? Diamond Prox now the target. He gets a bite of his ass. Takes him straight down. The spear comes through. Soaz with another kill, and Alex has to run for glory.
They got juicy flank of Bearmeat right there. Great job by Fnatic to turn that around. It almost looked like certain death for the entire team. N-Rated was the only casualty, but still, Genja, it was a little bit of a misplacement on his part. He ghosted up that river to come onto the side and take out, looked like
they're pinging on
Yellow
Alex.
Star next Peke, but he got caught instead.
Alex is going to get caught. Oh, the cocoon was a split second away from finishing him off there. And well, Peke, meanwhile, on the Dragon, this will pull the gold actually in favor of Fnatic for the first time in a long time. That is interesting. We do see Edward coming down once again. That singular ward just above Edward there has caught them out so many times.
Yeah, well, he did put a pink ward down to take care of that, but that's the downside of not buying an Oracle so early on, because what Fnatic was doing, they have to secure some kills, so they have to put a lot of ward coverage down to try to catch them off guard and catch them out in their own jungle. It ended up working out for them, and it looks like Edward doesn't want to let that happen anymore. He's going to pick up a couple more pink wards, I'm assuming, very shortly, but still, Darien getting even stronger in this top lane. He's farming up 156 CS. Not a lot, but he still has a Warmog, still has that Ruby Crystal, and he has those 2 Null Magic Mantles as well. And Genja has that Bloodthirster, Last Whisper done. The Average Blade already stacked up 600 gold at this point in the game. That was completely worth it for him to pick up.
Well, we do also see Darien with double Mercury. Nice. Okay, whatever he's going to go towards. He can Null Magic Mantle, sorry.
Almost looked like an Aegis, actually, in the works if he wants to go for it. Maybe even a Wit's End.
Double Bulwark?
Maybe. That was an awkward sound. I was thinking maybe a Triforce, because he's known for doing that, but...
Sounds that don't go across on microphones.
Yeah.
That's one of them. As it is, we see Soaz, who's pretty much been instrumental in keeping them in it here. 3-0-2 is going to go around, finds the bear, and the bear immediately turns around and runs. Not quite on all fours. Instead, Darien is there, though. They could, if they double up on him, certainly take him down. It means he's going to have to back away. Yellow Star, meanwhile, taking the red buff. He is going to go around. Genja in that top lane as well. So, gold lead, back to Gambit. Looks like it's going to be the top turret as well, but Fnatic are moving for this one. 0-3 Fnatic, have to pick up a win here, and here goes Soaz, goes in, tries to turn it out. Is he going to throw the cocoon on towards Darien? Does go repelled, immediately spear lands as well, but Darien, is he really the target they should all be going for? Bullet time across the entire team. Diamond Prox gets straight back on towards him. Peke very, very low here. Diamond Prox though, oh, takes the spear, he's going to have to back out. Here comes the rest. Alex Ich goes leaping in, gets one. Kha'Zix's taking him down. Alex Ich going to leap across, gets another straight across. They can't quite get onto it, gets the reset, leaps back across. Yellow Star Valkyries away. Whoa, that could have been a multi kill for Alex Ich there, but it wasn't to be. It's 13-9 for Gambit Gaming.
Fnatic overextended just a little bit too far. They had that ward down. They knew Gambit was coming in, and yet they stayed committed to it. Tried to run at the last second, but a great flash taunt out of Darien. We're talking about, does he ever miss one? And clearly, as you saw it there, he never does. And now we should see Gambit picking up this Baron.
And there is Shadow, Stand United coming in from Darien. They're going to take down this Baron. It's a half health. Yellow Star's going to come and try and poke it. Soaz also in there. Diamond Prox gets a cocoon straight to the face, but it means they're going to take down the Baron before anyone else can get close enough. Glitterlance comes out, catches on towards Yellow Star. Alex Ich trying to get the voice box on him as well, but instead backs away. So Baron now for Gambit, and Fnatic in defensive duties.
And Gambit with a lot of money in their pockets. You see Kha'Zix sitting on 1,900 at this point. Genja with 1,800. We even have Edward with over 1,000. They have a lot of money to spend. Probably going to go, spend it, come back, and push down one of these lanes. They have 3 more outer turrets to pick up. And with this region off Baron, they easily could take it. They denied the blue buff away from Xpeke yet again, so that siege coming out of them is non-existent.
No cares given there as Darien walked past, taking those spears from Peke. He's quite happy, and he looks like he is, building up possibly another Runic Bulwark. So 2 Runic Bulwarks, that's how you deal with spears, I guess.
Someone should tell NA that. Sorry. At least for double AP comps, which we currently do have. But yeah, we do have actually Soaz going to be building straight tank now, going for that Sunfire Cape. He needs to be that instrumental person to go in and take a lot of damage while still doing quite a bit, since Cyanide isn't tanky at all yet. I mean, he's just sitting on that Kindle Gem and that Cloth Armor, went for a Spirit of the Elder Lizard just to get some extra damage in there. But I mean, that's not what their comms based on. It's not about hard engage, it's about poking them down with the spear, with Corki, with Elise as well. And then you have Vi go in and have your team follow up. They don't have anyone to dive into the back besides Soaz at this point.
Well, Warmogs also was picked up by Alex Ich, so It's now a tanky flying bug with claws. So he's going to be jumping on you and doing a lot of damage. And frankly, you're not going to kill him too quick. He's got oracles as well. So I guess the one that's fed is the one that buys the oracles. It seems to be the way it goes on Gambit.
I think Edward's like, you know what? I didn't get 5 kills this game. You buy the Oracle this time.
Your turn. They make me buy Lulu, use Lulu. I'm going to have to just sit here. Okay, Edward's the AD carry, it seems, at the moment, because Genji didn't bother shooting the turret, but Edward was all about it. As it stands, they are going to go across, and they've spotted out a ward in the blue buff. They're splitting off a little bit here, and Edward, you see, puts that ward across and does manage to keep it there because there is no oracles currently on Fnatic. Peke keeping the poke on. Now they're going to turn across. They're going towards Soaz. He puts the cocoon down on Darien, but here comes Cyanide. Gets in knock up. Is he going to finish him off? Gets an assault of battery, but Genja's there. It does mean that he will go down, though. Genja's going to try and turn this one back around. The rest of the team coming back, but they are not close enough, and Darien simply caught out.
They still have that Baron buff, though. They can't afford to siege. They use the ultimate out of Vise, so they don't have to worry about that anymore. We saw Genja actually staying back pretty far just so he wouldn't get engaged upon as CeBIT trying to land that spear onto Alex Each, but
he's left the turret available, though. They've
can't defend
the
it.
bug, and then they just simply had to back away. Here comes Cyanide with those boots on. Is going to get in, and has managed to hold it out. Here comes Peke. He's chasing it down. Spear's going to come across, but Diamond Prox is the rear end. He's on all fours. He's running away, and actually nearly thought about turning around there. Instead, does back away.
I mean, Fnatic, they cannot defend anything without having that Vi ultimate up. That's the only thing that really separates the team and allows them to get in there and do some damage. Yellowstar, I mean, he doesn't really have very many items at this point, just that Bloodthirster Phantom Dancer compared to his counterpart with the Bloodthirster Last Whisper, which is going to give him so much more damage than he will. Not to mention the attack speed steroid that Misfortune has. But we do see the double runic bulwarks coming out, and that has a lot of magic resist for Darien and Diamond together, both sitting at about 150 each. So Soaz not going to be doing too much damage, neither will Xpeke. Not to mention, if you pair that in with how much health they're sitting on.
Well, we've got to expect that Alex Itch will be picking up a rather large item next as well, waiting around for that dragon. You know, Fnatic want to fight this one. They're in position, and Darien is walking straight past the cocoon, lands, and Darien gets a soul and battering from a 4-man Fnatic and immediately turns it around. Wild Growth pops them all back up, and here comes Alex Itch leaping on towards Cyanide. Cyanide gets separated from the pack. Alex Itch strings him down. Cocoon lands back on towards Darien, and Darien happy to take the damage. Alex Itch puts a big claw into the backside of Soaz. That Spider Lady is going down. Alex Itch now can't carry this on. He's going to get the flip, and it's going to be Volibear that goes in. Yellowstar now in trouble. Darien tanking up the turret. Volibear getting aggressed, and that's going to be the bullet time, landing across all 3 members. The final few, Peke is standing there. Crescendo was very good, but Enrated just gets removed from the air. A flying Alex Itch takes him down.
That was an alley-oop right there, throwing him in for Alex to just dunk him down.
Dunk.
Exactly, but I mean, we saw Fnatic misplay right there, thinking they could burst down Darien, blowing all their ultimates at once to kill him. Did not have the damage to do that, so Gambit's like, you know what, we're going to turn this fight on you, push you back into your base since they still have that Baron buff, get a turret off of it, and now they should be able to get in this inhibitor turret as well.
The problem is he is pure tank. Runic Bulwark, Warmox. There's nothing else. There's no damage. He's just pure tank. Everything, that's all he needs. And now it's looking like the first inhibitor of the game is going to be picked up by Gambit, and now Fnatic really up against it. They are just shy of 8,000 gold difference, 5-3 down in turrets, 6 kills down, and well, from really a good turnaround from Fnatic. They were looking dangerous at the start, but it hasn't happened, and Gambit Gaming, once again, once you give them that little edge, they take your whole arm.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Fnatic, they had, what was it? They were actually up by a little bit of gold at one point in the game, then they were about 300 behind, but then it just completely opened up from these last 2 fights we've seen happen. And Gambit just taking full advantage of that, still have a lot of money to spend yet again. 3,700 on Genja, you have 2,600 on Alex Itch. They're just going to come back even scared as we do see that Last Whisper fully bought out for Alex.
Yeah, it's when you can buy items flat out, that's when there's danger. Static Shift probably going to get picked up by Genja next back, but like mentioned, he's not going back, he's continuing to farm. It's like, go back and buy, just
I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for Infinity's Edge, actually.
You think he might go flat out for it? It's possible, why not? I mean,
it's Genja.
Let's see what he does. He's going to go back right now. So he will pick up some huge item. I'm thinking Static Shiv.
Oh,
Guardian Angel! Well, what do you know?
Well, the thing is, he wasn't even being bursted down or killed at all in this fight anyways. I was expecting that just so he can stop having so many assists and finally get some kills in there, stop getting him stole away.
I honestly don't know. But I guess he felt that was the required item, and I guess there's a little bit of safety required. He did also pick up the Brutalizer, wasn't it, in the same thing? He didn't have that before, so has managed to close that item out. So we do see the Baron will be up in, I think it's around about 2 minutes time, getting close to. And Gambit quite happy to just hold this out in this 2 minute break and probably ward out a large portion of the enemy jungle. As they're saying that, there's not really a great deal of water. Nobody's got space for them. 2 health pots still on Darien.
Edward's just like, you know what? I don't have enough space for wards. I'm not going to buy any. You guys get them if you guys can, because I want to carry this game. But you know, they have wards down towards Baron. They have the ability to easily lock it down. They do have the Oracle still on Alex Ich. And Fnatic trying to look, see that even, I was expecting to go ooh there, but it didn't even do that much damage to him at this point in the game. And trying to think what Fnatic can do to get in this game. They secured that, oh, and Raid's getting chased down by Diamond.
He's going to get flipped, and Raid's in all sorts of trouble. And Genja just off the side there. Bullet time hits them off and takes him down. Diamond finishes it off. Now he's on towards Peke. Here comes Alex Ich. The voice spikes do land, and Diamond should get the flip. Instead, the pathing turns him. He will still get the flip though, and Alex Ich now with the ultimate running is going to get the voice spikes back again. Cyanide trying to keep them at bay, but they can't stop the machine that is Gambit Gaming running through. Cyanide now, he gets flipped back in. He's going to be the prey. Alex Ich is the murderer, and he jumps back in again. Peke now could get leaped on. Is it going to choose a target? So as maybe it. Instead, he tries to cocoon on towards Diamond, but they are 2 towers deep, and they have to take the inner down first.
I don't know if you saw in that fight though, Demon. Darien was tanking Yellowstar, Xpeke, and Soaz upfront damage for about 10 seconds there while his team was finishing off someone else, and then they finally came and rescued him, and he was still at about half health. How do you kill someone that's that tanky and that has pretty good damage because he's going for his Triforce as well?
Yeah, and Darien is going to back off. He has Stan United available. We see the Baron started off here, but honestly, a couple of spears well aimed may do a lot of damage here. There goes one on towards Alex Ich, and that's going to hurt. And if Peke can land a couple more of those, Stan United is going to be used. Diamond Prox tries to turn. Cocoon comes out from Soaz. They're split targeted here. Yet Fnatic might be able to try and take something from this. A good crescendo coming from them, and Rated is going to go down. The Baron, though, is dropped, and it's Volibear that picks it up. Diamond Prox gets taken down. Edward tries to get away. Genja's going to get taken low. Alex Ich goes leaping back in. The rappel comes out, and he leaps away. He manages to take down Volibear. Soaz with a double kill. They're going to turn around. Genja's going to get dropped. The Guardian Angel is going to drop, but again, showing it's a pointless item when the rest of your team is taken out. And that was a 4-for-1 for Fnatic. A good crescendo from Ed Rated there, just as the Baron went down. If it had been a split second earlier, I think he may even stole Baron with it.
Yeah, and a great play by Soaz as well. We should definitely talk about that, where he just went straight into that pit. He attacked everyone as much as possible, and the thing was, he was being attacked by Genja, but he just repelled out, went over towards Edward, picked him off as well, and then just killed them one by one, getting a nice bit of gold into their pockets. I mean, Yellowstar sitting on 2,500 now. He's going to be able to pick up that Infinity's Edge fairly soon if he wants to go for that, or that Last Whisper, obviously.
Spear did nothing.
That's the problem. They need an answer for Darien, and it really only is, at least at this point. Maybe a Blade of the Rune King would be very nice for Corki, though. He doesn't have the ability to just sit there and auto-attack as much as he wants to when he has Darien just attacking him in his face, but they have to somehow deal with Alex and Genja, and once they do that, they can finally worry about Diamond and Darien.
Well, Black Cleaver was completed by Alex Ich when he went back, so he's now got more damage, and he's tanky. So he's
almost full build.
He's a pretty scary bug right now, and honestly, he's probably going to be quite fun to play. I think at this point.
I think you're a little envious right now. You're not playing.
A little envious. I've got to be honest. I'm a little envious of Alex Ich right now, playing a very fed Kha'Zix at 837, but it's all of his own creation, of course, with the assistance of his team. But 614 Soaz is the thorn in their side right now.
Yeah, he's going for that Void Staff as his next item too, which is going to help him just destroy Darien and Diamond. He realizes that they need some sort of answer for him, and that really is it at this point. That penetration change, he goes for Home Guarded Boots because he knows that they're going to be pressured at this bottom side. The inhibitor is up, but Super Minion is pushing back in. They have to do something about this. They only have one person with the Baron left, and I think that is Darien, but they are going to pick up a nice chunk of farm here, which they're probably very thankful for.
Yeah, blue buff also going to be given across. I guess Alex Ich will take that. Puts the void spikes in. No, they're going to give it Darien. Keep that Stan United stacked quicker. I don't know.
I can hear them in TeamSpeak right now saying, or Darien saying, I want this blue.
This is mine. This is mine. Leave it. You've already got one. And they keep the pressure on towards Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox has definitely been taking a lot of damage. every time the spears come out, they tend to be towards him. I don't think they're going to allow him to go back like that. Yeah, Soaz throws out the cocoon just to make sure. And actually, they're going to try and push forward on this one. Genja make it rain down to slow the push from Fnatic and keeps them in their base. So 10,000 gold difference, but it doesn't seem that way.
I agree. I mean, we've seen these fights happen so far. Fnatic's, won the last one. Gambit won the ones before that. They've been very one-sided, but if we do see a head-on-head 5-on-5, they should be fairly close. The thing is, Gambit, they're poisoned for that bottom inhibitor. They have the wards down there for it. We need to see an Orc out of N-rated. He has to clear this jungle. He cannot let themselves get caught where they have to be able to pick up their own jungle. You see Expect at the bottom side of your mini-map trying to push out and pick up as much CS as possible. And Gambit, they are starting to barrel down middle lane. They do have that Baron still left on Darien for just a little bit longer, but they have the damage, they have the tankiness to just wipe Fnatic off the floor.
Edward just went down and refreshed all those wards that were down in that jungle, and immediately continues to clear. He might be able to get picked off, but instead, that singular ward from Fnatic didn't stop him. With his oracles, he goes and clears out anything they put down, and that seems to be an issue. Alex hits with the Void Spike, Soaz manages to heal himself straight up, and Darien taking a lot of damage. The cocoon went on him. And again, it's just still that tanky. Spear though on Edward. That's sort of targets they need to be aiming at. Although saying that, taking a support down is never that great.
Well, that
it's
Lulu
kind of the only
ultimate
carry you want.
That Lulu ultimate is pretty key though in these fights. You see, Darien go in, he knocks them all up and keeps them slow. It's pretty key, but you're definitely right. You want to kill Genja with the spears, not Edward. And luckily for Fnatic though, Gambit doesn't really have an easy way of killing these turrets, because Misfortune gets too close, that Cyanide could easily ult him, and they can just lock him down and kill him. So they have that in their favor. I'm surprised Gambit didn't actually go for that bottom inhibitor, which was completely wide open, and they'd have a good positional advantage for a fight.
Yeah, instead they were trying to poke in towards that middle, and they seem quite happy to just back off and see if they can try and create some advantages. And that does mean that Darien is all alone at the moment, forward up in this position. Alex is just going to get shown, and I think they've realized that. I think they're going to pursue Darien a little bit there. Yellow Star clears out the blue area, and a little bit of poke back and forwards. If Darien was to get caught out by one good cocoon from Soaz, it may well cause a lot of damage on him. He's a brick wall right now, though. We talked about bricking before. He's going for looking like a Trinity Force next.
Yeah, that's his signature item that he always likes to build. Just go for a little bit extra damage, the slow. I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad item on Shen, but obviously you don't get the mana off of the Sheen, but still get the extra ability power, helps out.
What's Alex switching up to? Well, of course, it's going to be a mirror mana.
And he's full built.
He is full built. Now the spears from Peke, I'm not too sure. They're going to do a lot, but honestly, when Alexich goes leaping in, he is going to be devastating if somebody gets singled out. Pink ward going down on towards the Baron. Baron is not due just yet. Instead, Gambit choosing to continue pressuring this mid lane, and things definitely slowed down. We were talking about it was around about the 20-minute mark. Things just went a little bit crazy, and immediately that pink ward looks like Oracle is on Alex Hitchens, because he's just cleared out that pink ward that was just placed down. Edward also with an Oracle as well. He's clearing out wards, and that spear just out of range.
It's funny that you mentioned the game is slowed down, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Gambit, they have a 10,000 gold lead, and yet they can't close this game out. That's how scared of Fnatic they currently are. So Fnatic is holding on, they're clinging on, and the next big thing that's going to happen is this Baron. If Fnatic can stop Gambit, or at least get 4 or 5 kills off it, they can finally make that push they've been waiting for to maybe get an inhibitor and maybe start to get a foot into this game to actually get some leverage.
Well, the irony is it is Fnatic, and as Ocelot's mentioned at the 40-minute mark, sometimes against Fnatic, you've got to be very careful, because they have a tendency of sneaking into your base. As it stands, I don't think they're going to do it just yet to Gambit, because they haven't taken down a single inner turret. There's the assault battery onto Darien. Is it going to be enough, though? The spear on towards Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox seems to be the target they've turned to. Genja, though, with a big, great bullet time, hitting everybody. They're turning it back around, and here comes Alex Titch. Wild Growth comes down. Cyanide gets dropped. Soaz just getting ripped apart. He has to repel away, but Alex Titch all across the map straight away. N-rated triple kill. Jumps across. Can't get the quadra because Genja takes it down. Peke, the last man standing, and Alex Titch just pursues him in towards the base. That was exactly what Gambit were waiting for. An assault on towards Darien and Diamond, the 2 tankiest members of the entire team. Alex Titch not done yet. He's going to pursue on towards Peke. He's going to keep him at bay, and that will be another turret down and an inhibitor exposed. And now both the bottom and the middle inhibitor surely will follow. follow. And looking like Gambit are not done here. They're going to push into the base.
I'm still so confused why Fnatic went in all in on Darien again. I mean, they didn't kill him last time they did that. They didn't kill him this time, and Darien just walked away from it.
Well, there it is. Good games being given out from Fnatic. It looks like Gambit going to take down the Nexus. They will go 4-0 in the group. The Intel Extreme Masters champions. Can they do it again? They went unbeaten last time here at CeBIT, and they're looking like they might do it again. But Fnatic down and out of the tournament. 0-4 in this tournament. Who would have predicted that during last week?
With how strong they look, that was just ridiculous that they seemed to be beaten by anyone. I mean, Millennium just took them out like it was nothing. Gambit just took them out like it was nothing. Every team has done that, and unfortunately for them, well, luckily for them, that they'll have this week to rest and, you know, get prepared for the next week of LCS.
Well, the irony is that's probably the closest we've seen them come to taking Gambit. And Gambit, that's probably the longest game they've had in this tournament, 42 minutes. Let's get over to the analysis desk and see what they thought of that one, because Gambit Gaming are continuing to be undefeated.
Thank you, Lee. Wow, Gambit Gaming, again, so strong. Longest game that we've analyzed today.
Yeah, longest game on
almost
stream.
43 minutes, longer than I thought it would be. And for a while, I had hope. It bubbled up in me, man. But nothing grew out of that, so...
Yeah, they fell, you know, a little bit behind. Once they got to that mid-game, they kept really close for a very long period of the game, about 25, 26 minutes before they actually started to fall behind. And, you know, you heard Jason saying right at the end, they're going, I don't understand why did they go on Darien. And I think that was the third or fourth time we've been asking ourselves the exact same question. It just felt like their heads weren't really in that particular matchup.
Yeah, it was more of, well, we need to find someone, we'll catch him. Darien's on his own. He's sharing his split pushing. Darren's his own. We'll find him, we'll catch him, and we'll kill him. No, you don't. He's so tanky. I mean, the replay here is from only halfway through the game, and they tried to do exactly that. Catch Darren, didn't work. Fight later on, they try to find him in the bottom lane. They blow everything on him. Gambit are a dragon, and they come and 5v4 him, and they've got no cooldowns. They still didn't kill Darren. They just can't get through.
I'll tell you what, let's actually jump into the replay right now. As I said, it is 25 minutes into the game. The kill score is 9-10. And I specifically want to draw your attention here to the gold difference and the tower difference between these two teams, because it is completely even. 37,000 gold for that of Fnatic to 37,500 for that of Gambit. It was really close. As soon as we get this up, I'll be able to shake you. You know, we'll take you through the play and just the mistakes that Fnatic were doing leading up to it. Questionable decision making, wouldn't you say so, Penky?
One way to put it, yeah. I mean, they needed something. They needed to claw their way back in. At this point, gold's even. They seem to be fairly well there, but Gambit just... Every fight went their favour, every little skirmish went their favour. They had stronger composition. I don't know. I don't want to say they had a stronger composition. They were both very tight, but everything they did just seemed to be that little bit better, that little bit more polished, that little bit more refined. The communication was definitely there. There was a time when we saw Fnatic going in and not going in, and some players were running at them, some players running back, and it just wasn't quite coordinated, wasn't quite ready. Definitely off their game.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Let's see if we can jump into this replay and actually take you through this, because as I say, you know, it was just Fnatic trying to make plays happen, trying to make situations, and it just didn't really work out for them. Jared, while we're waiting, what did you think of the Corki?
It ended like I expected, but you know, he did hold his own. He did better than I thought.
The problem with Corki, he didn't really get super far ahead in the early game. You know, where Corki is really explosive and dangerous with those phosphorus bombs, has got a lot of early game damage, has the ability to really, you know, take control of a lane. He just never really had the chance to shine.
Yeah, for a moment I thought he was going to prove me wrong. But, oh wow, I guess maybe he does know a hell of a lot more than I do. But even more than I thought he knows more than me.
And there we go. We do have the replay up on screen so that you can see it. I have kept the minimap up for a particular reason. Take a look at the positioning here. When we have a look at Xbecker coming in from the side, you can see Enrated moving in. And I do want to draw your attention to Alexish and Edward, because of course they will join this party very soon. Let's drop the HUD, kick in the replay, and Panky, take us through this one.
So yeah, we need to see Soaz initially into Darren. He gets that slow out. Good macro and spear comes in from Pekka. They're still doing a lot of damage to Darren where they can. But GG hardly realize that they've got team closing in. They can take this fight. Good misfortune from a position that cannot be cancelled, miles away from Fnatic. In the bush, Susano can't use a assault and battery on him. And Darren is still standing. They did switch it onto Darren Prox to try and do something to him. Good spear lands, but he just gets his passive, starts regenerating. Hides behind his team to make sure he doesn't catch another spear. But now here's Alex, here's Lulu, and the re-engage come through. Fnatic lost a lot of health just trying to take Darren Prox and Genja down, and Alex comes in on these low hatch champions to start cleaning up. Takes down the squishy champions, gets the reset, leaps in onto Peke, can't quite get him, has to leap one final time, gets another reset over the wall. Yellowstar, of course, got his W to come back in the other direction. But this wave of Gambit gaming just followed Fnatic up the lane. They try to go in, they try to kill these tanky targets, but they can't do it, and they take a lot of damage in the process. So Gambit just hit that point and said, okay, we're getting them low, they're still chasing, we get them low, get them chasing, and turn. And as one, they all just turn back on Fnatic and roll over them back up towards the base.
We were going to do another replay at about the 30-minute mark, and it was almost identical. The only difference being Fnatic decided to jump on Garen in the bottom lane, and they threw everything they had into it, but they had no vision of the rest of Gambit, and they were busy doing Dragon.
Yeah, they presumed he was split pushing down the bottom lane on his own. The rest of Gambit is up on the other half of the map, or around Baron area, or top half. And yeah, as you say, they were at Dragon. So they went, oh, you're trying to kill him? Well, you've used this ultimate, you've used this ultimate, you've used this ultimate. Dragon's dead. Now we'll come down there and kill it. And they just all walk down and stroll straight over them again. So strong.
Yeah, it's something that, you know, you really need to think about when playing against Gambit, is that how powerful Kha'Zix is and just how strong his, his resets are. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for Fnatic. They got shut down in that particular matchup.
All right, well, Shox is on stage with two players from Gambit, this time Alex Each and Edward. They're ready to do an interview. We're going to cut over there. Enjoy that.
Ready? Hi, I'm here with Alex and Edward. Alex is going to help us translate a little bit for Edward. Edward, first question. You guys banned out Leona and Caitlyn in the bottom lane. Is in Braided's Leona something you're really afraid of?
Мы забанили Леону и Кейтлин. По-русски будешь? И
Good times.
боимся ли мы Леона и Энрейтеда?
Так, мы, конечно, забанили Леону и Кейтлин, но, конечно, не боимся их. Считаем просто сильным игроком Энрейда на Леоне. Они также забанили нашего трэша, поэтому это как мстя.
So Edward's saying that we're not afraid of Leona and Caitlyn, but they're really strong at these heroes, and these heroes are really strong overall, and they banned out his thresh, so it's kind of revenge.
I see. Now, Fnatic is not having a good showing here. They come out of LCS super weak, but so do you guys, and you both did good, but you're winning every game. So what's the difference between you two?
Фнатики показывают не очень сильную игру. Они так же, как и мы, пришли сюда с супер уика, ну то есть длинные недели ЛКС. И в чем разница, почему мы всех выигрываем, они всем проигрывают?
Как бы разницы совсем нету. Fnatic очень сильная команда, они хорошо сыграли ЛКС, супер вик, но им просто сегодня не везет и все.
So Edward's saying that there is no difference. Fnatic is a really strong team. They played good LCS, but it's not their day today.
Just not their day. Now tomorrow we're going to see another two teams from the LCS, EG and SK Gaming. How do you think they will do here, from your opinion?
Завтра здесь будут играть ЕГЭ и СК. Как думаешь, они, какой результат покажут?
Мне совершенно безразлично, какой у них будет результат. Нам главное выйти сегодня из группы и отдохнуть 2 дня и настроиться на финальный день.
So Edward's saying that we don't care at all what will be the results of the other group. We need to get from the group from the first place, so we can relax 2 days and play at our best.
Okay. Thank you very much, the two of you. We're going into a short break. When we come back, it's going to be Incredible Miracle versus Gambit. Last match of the day. Don't go anywhere.